Excellent. Jody, what's going on?
Monteith from Ireland would like to know how versatile the interactive scenery is. When it can you use it with the fighting mechanics?
How?
Could you repeat that again, Jody?
How versatile is the interactive scenery, and how can you use it with your fighting mechanics?
Okay, well, every object in the environment can be picked up and thrown. Or tables can be kicked, barrels can be thrown and smashed. So the idea is that the idea is that anything you see lying around in the environment, you can pick up and throw and destroy and smash and so forth. Yeah, I think this is actually probably the first combat system to actually integrate physics into the whole game. You can also, even if there's debris lying all around, you can go into range stance and then sweep the whole debris, sending it flying and take out multiple enemies at once.
It sounds incredible. Jody, more questions?
Zachary Jones from Novato, California would like to know how much processing power does her hair take?
That is very advanced hair, and I think it's a totally valid question.
Okay.
Let's rephrase it. How much of the development cycle did it take?
It took 6 months, actually.
To get the hair down?
A guy working solely on hair for 6 months.
Wow.
We reserve an SPU for hair, cloth, those kind of, clothy, hairy type stuff. And she uses, I don't know what the figure is, but it's about 20% of one SPU or something like that.
Wow. So it's significant, and it really shows. That's some of the most realistic looking hair I think you'll see in a game. Jody, you want to give me another question?
Sean Edwards from New Jersey would like to know, can you wield the weapons other than her multi-sword? The examples he gave is a hammer and a bow.
You can pick up and throw any enemy weapon, but that's kind of as far as it goes, because your Heavenly Sword is just more powerful than anything else out there. The exception is when you're in kind of army scenarios where you might be in charge of handheld cannons or mounted cannons, where you can take out lots of enemies at the same time. So when you've got a cannon, you can literally take out like 30, 40, 50 guys in one shot. But other than that, you can use other weapons as props, but your Heavenly Sword is the main weapon.
Oh, it sounds like that makes for plenty of good combat. Jody, why don't you give me 2 more questions?
What sort of gameplay modes are there? The example, arena fighting, one-on-one, or anything like that?
Sorry, what kind of gameplay modes?
Yeah, other gameplay modes aside from the main story mode here.
It is just the main story mode.
Okay.
That should be plenty, I think.
How long would you estimate the main story mode will take to get through for most people?
Depends on the skill, of course, but I reckon about 12 to 15 hours on the first playthrough. If you want to unlock everything, then obviously it'll take longer.
Yeah. Is that possible through multiple playthroughs, or is it just through more methodical play?
Well, actually, I mean, the entire game is played in flashback.
Sure.
And once you play through a level and unlock it, you can always return to it in any order.
Okay.
And even if if you're very far into the game and you've picked up all these new combos and skills and super styles, you can return to the earlier levels and apply them to try and get a better rating for that level.
All right. Jody, last question, please.
Zachary Hayter would like to know how much, well, he just wants to know a lot more about Noriko's sisters.
Okay. Well, she's...
Play as the sisters?
Yes, I mean, what we wanted to do with her is completely change the pace. So she's in the game for about 20% of the game.
Okay.
And she doesn't have melee, so it forces you to think very differently from when you're playing with Nariko.
These little sequences where you're tracking the bolt as it's being fired are really slick.
Yeah, so what she can do is, you can fire like any FPS, aim, fire, zoom in, zoom out. But if you want to go for a headshot, hold down the fire button and you go into this first-person view. And you can do things like fire those arrows through flames and then try and hit some explosives and take out lots of enemies. So it's more about being cunning.
Nice. Very cool stuff. Tam, I want to thank you very much for coming by and giving us a look at this Heavenly Sword for the PlayStation 3. When are you aiming to get this out?
September.
September, so you're very close. You're almost there.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, it definitely looks like it. This is a very sharp-looking game.
Thank you.
Thanks again.